Welcome to the third Greek Scientists Society Symposium. Leveraging the soft power of the global Hellenic community towards the Greek and Cypriot Next Generation Innovation Ecosystems 5.0.
Welcome back. Let us now move to our first panel to discuss what is the role of science and tech diplomacy in today's world, and how the scientists can promote our position in the global landscape. First of all, to familiarize ourselves with some housekeeping rules and the features of the platform, on your left top, there is a raise hand feature. You can also send your questions and comments to the Q&A area. If you wish to get invited on stage, please let us know your name and designation and the topic you wish to comment or raise your question. At the bottom of the screen, you can use the emoticon feature. Please also mind that we have enabled the leaderboard so you can join the booths, participate in the sessions, and gain points. This is our first time to exercise this feature, so have a look. The top 3 will receive personal digital gifts. So please be mindful that the event is recorded and will be uploaded on the Greek Scientists Society YouTube channel. And the event is also on LinkedIn Live, Facebook, and YouTube, so please send us your questions to pass them to the speaker. So now, we welcome the speakers of this session, which are Ambassador Alexandros Malias, former ambassador of the Hellenic Republic to the United States, Professor Kostas Infandis, who is Professor of International Relations at Pantheon University, Mr. Jimmy KOKODAS, President of the American Hellenic Educational Progress Association, and unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, Minister Nikos Dendias will not be able to be with us today. However, his message will be addressed now by Mr. Alexandros Malias, voiceover, who is the Corporate Relations Manager of the Greek Scientists Society.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I am particularly glad to address the Greek Scientists Society Third Symposium, making thus my contribution to the discussion on the role of science and tech diplomacy in today's world. Allow me, first of all, to congratulate the organizers for this important initiative. Today's event promotes Greek scientific thinking through innovation and new technologies, stimulating the soft power of Greek diplomacy. I avail myself of this opportunity to express my appreciation to the Greek and Cypriot scientists, members of the global Hellenic community diaspora who thrive in all scientific fields. Dear friends, science and technology in today's world are evolving as a source of soft power to strengthen or foster international relations, thus constituting an important tool of diplomacy. In particular, science-tech diplomacy has become an umbrella term that involves the use of scientific, technological, and academic collaborations, as well as synergies among countries, regions, and societies to address common issues and to build international partnerships. Current global challenges, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, cybersecurity, emerging technologies, etc., have highlighted the importance of science diplomacy in today's world. No country can tackle today any of these challenges alone. Thus, their foreign policy needs to integrate new tools for a world of increasing scientific and technical complexity. As humanity's greatest challenges and some of its most promising opportunities are regional and global, increasingly, the world requires effective partnerships between scientists, engineers, policymakers, and diplomats. Science can boost diplomacy in many ways, such as by using scientific know-how to support foreign policy goals, facilitating international scientific and technical cooperation. The soft power of science enables participation and the escalation of tensions, thus contributing to innovation, alliances, and peace. It is therefore essential to develop our own network of scientific advisors and consultants in fruitful cooperation with our embassies and consulates abroad. Our common goal should be the promotion of the Greek ecosystem in science, technology, innovation, and higher education. I would like to thank you once more for the kind invitation you extended to me. I am sure that the discussion that follows will be fruitful. Nikos Zendias.
We would like to thank the Minister for his message, and now we can move on with the moderator of this session, who is Mr. Dimitrios Apokis, a journalist and international relations and American foreign policy specialist. I'm now handing over to you, Mr. Apokis, so you can start the session.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to participate in this important event and for the honor to moderate this panel. The subject of this panel is very important, the role of science and tech diplomacy in today's world, and how the scientists can promote our position in the global landscape. The symposium takes place in a very crucial and difficult time because of the war in Ukraine, this tremendous crisis in the heart of Europe that has global implications. And it's a very good idea to start this discussion by asking the members of the panel to address the role of this Greek scientist community around the world on the diplomacy of during these difficult times. I would like to start by posing this question to Mr. KOKODAS, the Supreme President of AHEPA. Mr. President, I'm also a member of AHEPA, and AHEPA has many members that are also scientists all over the world. And during these difficult times of crisis, how do you see the mission of Greek scientists around the world, how they can contribute to formulate a framework that can help to resolve crises like this? It's a little bit difficult to see how scientists can contribute to the resolution of crises like the Ukraine crisis. But it seems to me that soft power and the Greek scientist community around the world can play a crucial role.
Thank you, Dimitri. And please, no Mr. President, Dimitri or Jimmy, whatever you prefer.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you for including us in the panel today. Obviously, representing AHEPA, we see, we deal with, and we have relations with many people in the Greek American diaspora, including the professors at many universities, as there have been many Hellenic studies programs that AHEPA has helped fund to promote the language and the culture and everything else. We have a very strong community here in America. Obviously, the scientists and the professors and the people in academia have a platform. They have a platform with a lot of the youth. They have a lot of the platform within the academic circles. So they do have a stage. They do have a stage to be able to get a message across and to help with the spread of diplomacy and with the message of diplomacy. They are very well respected in this country. Greeks in general, and in terms of academics, whether they are teaching at the college level or whether they are advanced students getting doctorates or whatever advanced degrees they may be getting, are very well respected. I have to tell you that they've made great contributions throughout this country, very well regarded, and I think it's important that they help with the message of peace, obviously, and that message of diplomacy, and how the advancements that are being made in the world are for everyone. They're not just for the superpowers of the world. They are the advancements that are being made to lift up countries, the poorer countries that cannot afford certain things or may not have the financial leverage. Well, science and technology, whether it's the internet, whether it's medicine, whatever it may be, again, is for everyone. And I think that's where the scientists and the technology people that are doing things for the better of the world, for the betterment of the world, have an absolutely wonderful platform to spread that message and to tend to unite some of the bigger countries and even some of the countries that may not be the peaceful, friends that we'd like them to be in the world, for the sake of having access to this genius that exists and to the technologies, whether it's biotech or whatever it may be, coming out. The scientists, I think, have a great role to play and have leverage with their advancements that they're making. So I think we're well represented in this country, and we look to continue spreading and sharing the genius that we have here. And the genius that you've sent us from Greece and Cyprus, obviously, because a lot of these people that are here in academia, both as students and professors, have come from abroad. Not all of them have been raised and are born here in the States. But again, you look at now, whether it's an example, I just use Pfizer with the medication and Mr. Borla. Everybody wants the medication. So whether you're a rich country or poor country, a superpower or not, you're willing to give in a little bit. And people like that have a little leverage and bring people to the table and saying, okay, we'd like to work with you, but we also expect a couple of things from you. And we'd like you to be better stewards of the world and of the people.
Mr. Apokis, you are muted. Mr. Apoki, we cannot hear you. You are muted if you are talking.
Sorry. Thank you for this initial answer. I want to inform you that Ambassador Malias has some kind of technical problem. He's not with us yet. I hope he will resolve it and he will be with us shortly. Professor Ifandis, the academic community plays a crucial role in preparing the scientists of tomorrow. This last month, we lived through a period that it seems to me that science and education, the backstage to the hardline positions and to difficult political decisions, and with this illegal invasion of Russia to Ukraine, how you see the role of scientists on the academic community that prepare the leaders and the scientists of the future, how they can prepare the generations of tomorrow in order not to have this kind of problems and crises we live right now?
Well, thank you ever so much for the invitation and the honor to join the community of Greeks, both from Greeks and from the diaspora. Well, there is only one answer to your question, which is not only a question of that we put ourselves because of what is going on right now. It is not just the question of the circumstances, but it is a perennial question. And education for Greeks in Greece and Cyprus and in the United States and in Europe, education has been and it will continue to remain the vehicle for social, political, and economic advancement by all means. And the extent to which there is a collective will to improve education, then it is certain that the future will look brighter. Now, this brief remark leads me to where I want to go. To be honest, I was not certain, I was not sure of how I could contribute to this very interesting discussion. I thought of, and therefore I thought of offering a couple of brief remarks on the international state of play, and in the current juncture. And what I would like to say is, it is about what's the transition to the next, allow me to put it that way, the next wave of post-industrial revolution entails, and what are the challenges. The issue is not one of what we can do as scientific or academic or political elites or community. Okay, that is, but it is about the strategic imperative that we don't miss out the wave of technological evolution. This is a matter of survival. Let me just say that, of course, there are numerous issues that can and should be addressed, and challenges discussed, addressed, like democracy, like populism, like violence, like political and religious extremism, that are all of them linked and affected by the way technology and innovation changes our societal, economic, and political condition. And this is the heart of the matter. The technological revolution has already created unprecedented pressures on states and their institutions, and on Greece and on Cyprus, but not only in Greece and Cyprus. There was a UN report back in 2016, has not been updated, but we are expecting an update as we speak. 2016, the UN warned that 2/3 of all jobs in the developing and in the developing world, and maybe up to 50% of all jobs in the developed world are at risk. Let me offer just a few numbers to illustrate the world we are living on. While automation and innovation in machine learning threatens 47% of all jobs in the West, in the developed world that is, the number is 65% in Nigeria, with a population of 140 million people, 69% in India, home to more than 1.3 billion people, and close to 80% in China, a country of 1.4 billion people. Now, that is a lot of personal upheaval involving a very large number of people in an interconnected and mutually vulnerable worlds. And Greece and Cyprus are very much part of this world. So whatever we plan, whatever way we shape our response to this unprecedented change that is already happening, we need to take care to take account of the broader picture. The point is that all those jobs, or let me put it another way, the point is not that all those jobs will disappear. It's that even if one type of job is simply replaced with a newer type of employment that complements the work of machines, the transition will be, some say, brutally difficult on a historically unprecedented scale. What are the factors that will determine how our countries and our societies weather these economic, social, and without doubt political upheavals? First of all, our progress, survival and progress and development depends on adaptation to change. And governments must have the means to adapt. That's why we need human capital that is attractive to funding. Those that cannot afford to invest in the new technologies and in the education that is linked to new technologies will see their economies lose their competitive edge, and they will be marginalized in the global diplomatic arena. They won't produce growth, they won't produce jobs, and they will leave the state without revenue, the revenue it needs actually to invest into the future. Also, it's not only a matter of funds or of adequate funding that put into investment, but there is also a need to invest in the process of training to use the new technologies. If our countries, our governments don't already have a strong education system from early childhood through higher education, then we are going to be left out. So we need to invest in education and reform our education system. And this is what is happening in Greece right now, fast. Finally, a political remark that has to do with the sense of belonging. Governments, both in Greece and in Cyprus, must minimize inequality, not inequality of income, but inequality of opportunity as a viable path toward a better life. And education is the only way that we can chart or map out this new, this very much needed path in order to remain part of the global distribution of power in a if you like, in an advantageous way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. It seems that Ambassador Malias continues to have problems. I hope he will be soon with us. I want to come back to you, Jimmy. You say to me to call you Jimmy. HEPA is an organization with global presence. And as I said before, many of the members of the organizations are scientists and practitioners of soft power. As an organization, do you have any plans, any framework under which all these Greek scientists around the world can promote Greek culture, Greek science, and most important of all, the national interests of Greece through their work and through soft power use?
Dimitri, I'll be more than happy to answer the question, but I see the ambassador is back with you. I don't know if you want to take advantage of that.
Let's go to Ambassador Malias, because it seems that he's losing continuously the connection. Ambassador, if you are listening to us, please go. I will make a brief question to you. You were in Washington as an ambassador, and we worked together. And it was a period that soft power was in the forefront of diplomacy at that time. So I can say and verify that you were a practitioner of use of this soft power of Greek scientists and the Greek community. Talk to us about this important subject. It seems that the connection froze again with Ambassador Malias.
I want to apologize for the bad connection.
Okay.
For the bad connection. Do you get me?
We are listening to you, Ambassador. Go ahead.
The southern part of Arabia is crowded due to the national station. So yes, the connection is basically more people.
We don't, Ambassador. I'm sorry, but the connection is very bad. You are breaking up.
That's a real
Ambassador, the connection is very bad. We are breaking up. It's very difficult to understand what you say.
Yes. So
No, we're not getting your voice clearly. So probably you should try one more time to disconnect and connect to see if you get.
The Supreme President, yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Let's go to Mr. KOKODAS again in order to move forward with the discussion. You remember the question?
Yes, Dimitri. Well, as an organization with conventions, district conventions, national conventions, website presence, obviously internet presence, we welcome our Greek brothers and sisters, our Cypriot brothers and sisters that are in the science and technology field. We're more than happy to give them a platform to share their ideas, their vision, and what they think the future might hold. And we support them in any way that we can. Obviously, being advocates for both Greece and Cyprus, anything that is out there that we can help. Even now with what the next ecosystem might be in Greece and Cyprus, we are there to promote it, to help it along in any way that we can through our fraternal order, through the AHEPA family. And not only that, but through our connections here and our friendships that we've established with our over 400 chapters that we have with local government. So it's that ability to get to the academic level, basically wherever we need to, because of the people that we know and the relationships that we have, as well as being able to maybe even offer up the sister cities or the sister universities programs that exist where there's an exchange of ideas, of students, of technology, of innovation, and there's the groupthink effort to work together for the common cause when people don't necessarily care about who's going to get the credit, and they're just trying to make a difference. One of the things that I didn't mention before is the beauty of technology and science when it is approached from a compassionate perspective versus a for-profit perspective. As an organization, a service organization that we are, all we do is try to get involved, help, and give in our communities. I think it's very important, and there are many people out there that are not in the compassionate side of technology. They're just looking for the profitable side of it. But I think it is very important to help and support the people whose projects will have a greater impact on society, do not have the extremely difficult barriers of entry into those second and third level economic countries where, again, they could have a great impact, whether it's even internet, which we don't have internet throughout the world. And obviously with the ambassador situation right now, we realize that even there, the technology could be improved and for ourselves. But there's so much out there that we could do. And our organization, which is celebrating its 100-year anniversary this year, is proud to continue to stand and advocate for Greece and Cyprus and the diaspora and bring people together. And anything that we can do for the Greek scientists, the Cypriot scientists, we are here for them, again, to give them a platform, to help them broaden their platform and their audience, and to promote Greece and Hellenism and anything we can.
On this, I want to get back to you with this question. Right now, through this grain crisis, it's pretty clear that hard power prevailed, and we live this tragedy at the heart of Europe with global implications, as I said before. Do you see a way that with the use of soft power, that we can prevent situations like this through soft power diplomacy? And is it possible something like that in order to avoid this kind of crisis that we live right now?
Well, this is a very important question. But the timing does not allow me to be optimistic. Soft power is extremely important, but soft power, at least in my reading of history and my reading of the global state of affairs, is that soft power is important, can be of critical importance actually, but only as a complement to hard power. Hard power is there not to be used, and this is the paradox, if you like, of hard power. But soft power cannot do much against revisionist actors, non-satisfied or unsatisfied actors like Russia, or Turkey, to get things into a more local, regional perspective. It is these are powers that these are actors that, because they are not satisfied by the global distribution of power, they are not satisfied by their standing in world affairs. They will always try to push for change, not by using soft power, because this is a commodity that is very much in demand in these parts of the world, but by using the threat of exercising coercive diplomacy, or the threat of exercising hard military power. Soft power is extremely important, but it is a currency to be used in peacetime. When things are as they are right now, we need to master our hard power capabilities in order to deter aggressors. Soft power is extremely important among us, that is the West. Okay? Soft power, we should rediscover, we should reevaluate our common roots, our common heritage, our commitment to democracy, our commitment to a liberal paradigm and to human rights, and the peaceful resolution of conflict. And this is what brought, for example, the transatlantic community together following the Second World War. And this is what we can, in the face of aggression and revisionist threats, will bind us together again. And this is what we are witnessing right now.
Thank you very much, Professor. Let's have another try with Ambassador Malias. Ambassador, if you are listening to us, you can proceed with... we lost him again. Let me ask at this time, Chrisa, how much time we have in order to see if we can succeed with the ambassador?
We have another 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Let's hope that during that time the ambassador can resolve
Yes,
the
we are
issue.
trying on that to establish a connection somehow.
Yeah.
Dimitri, maybe we can get him audio at least instead of visual. Maybe he might have a better connection if he just tried audio.
Jimmy, it seems that
is very bad. The connection here is very bad.
Ambassador, can you just talk to us without the camera in order to...
We have
But it seems to me that you still you also have a problem with the with the mic, so
yes.
It's impossible to listen
but
to.
Maybe if he turns off his camera.
Turn off the camera and try to just use the mic. Are you listening to us now?
Well, I use the mic, but the connection is so bad. Yes, but...
No, you are breaking up. You are breaking up.
I'm sorry, the connection is very bad here, and it's a real issue.
Okay. So let's proceed with another question for Jimmy. How do you think that the Greek scientists community around the world can contribute in order to promote our the Greek heritage, and also for me, it's very important to see and use this power of Greek scientists around the world in order to connect again, because it seems to me that it's pretty obvious that there is a disconnection of the young generations of Greece around the world with Greek history, not only Greek history, but the history of the world. And this kind of crisis that we live right now in Ukraine, it seems that has to do a lot with history and bad interpretation of history. It seems that history takes revenge in today's world because we avoid history. We didn't pay attention to history. So, since you have a global perspective because of AHEPA, talk to us a little bit about that efforts that you use the Greek science community, the scientists of Greece around the world, in order to educate the new generations and get them back in touch with our history and the history of the world.
But I think as an organization, what we see is 100 years ago we were helping to Americanize the Greeks that were coming here and for them to assimilate to our culture. I got to be honest, the last 10 or 15 years, we're seeing more that we're helping the first, second, third generation Greeks become more Greek and embrace a culture, a language, and a history that they did not get an opportunity to, maybe because of the home that they were raised in or other circumstances around them. Maybe they weren't churchgoers or they didn't learn the language as young children. But now there's an interest. And I think because of the organization, sometimes they join a chapter and they feel more comfortable to go to Greek events, where before, whether it was a mixed marriage or something that they didn't feel comfortable going into church or going to the different Greek events. So we're helping definitely introduce the culture, the language, and being Greek to many people that have gotten away from it due to circumstances. I could tell you in Europe that we've got chapters that have been growing very well the last couple of years, and I think it's for the same reason that our chapters grew here in the beginning. Greeks that were away from home wanted to find pareia and friends and people that they had common interest with and get together and share ideas and just be in a pareia they felt comfortable in. And now I think because of the displacement of so many Greeks, because of work, because of economics, because of opportunity, because so many of them have left the country, now they're finding themselves in other countries and they're saying, you know something, I'd like to establish my own little pareia. I know there are Greeks here, and how can I do that? Let me see if there's an AHEPA chapter. Let me see if I can join one. Let me see if I could start one. Again, you see it the way that it's identical. It's just smaller the way that we're seeing it here. Obviously, there were a lot more Greeks that immigrated to the United States 70, 80, and 100 years ago than there are Greeks leaving Greece, moving to different parts of Europe. But again, it's an opportunity for us. There's a lot of potential in the country of Greece. If we get into that business side of the conversation, a lot of potential and a lot of opportunity there as to what could be done, and both in Greece and Cyprus to do so much. Whether it's in the incubation side of technology, whether it's an academic perspective, there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of benefits. There are a lot of things working in Greece's favor in terms of it's a peaceful country, it's a democratic country. There's a great quality of life there, and I think we have to figure out what we could all do, working obviously in step with the government and supporting their ideas. but there's so much potential in the country of Greece, especially now after the pandemic, where you see so much work is mobile and no longer in an office, and can be done from home or from any place else. I think if we can use the lessons that we've learned in the pandemic and been forced to learn, it'll be a great opportunity. And back to what you said about history, there's always a rewriting of history. The professor could probably speak greater to that than I can, but people always change history to their benefit. And that's why, as we just celebrated March 25th and the 201st anniversary of Greek independence,
it seems like we are losing our speakers one by one.
It's so important for us to be able to bring attention to ourselves, because nobody else is going to shine a spotlight on someone else. They're all looking to shine it on themselves. So we as Greeks, Greek Americans, Cypriot Americans, Cypriots, we need to shine the spotlight on ourselves when it's time to, and to stand up for ourselves. And I know it's not in our DNA to pat ourselves on the back and promote ourselves, but sometimes you have to do that to let the world remember who you are and the contributions you've made. And 1821 is far away, but 1940 is not. Most everybody living's parents or grandparents were alive in 1940 with the famous Ochi. So the Greeks have helped shape the world and where it is exactly today as a country and as a people. So we need to continue to let people know about that, promote it, and do everything we can. And the famous saying is, history teaches you nothing. It just punishes you for not learning its lessons. And I really like that one, because there are a lot of lessons to be learned in history. And if we don't learn them, we will obviously make the same mistakes going forward.
Thank you very much. This final statement, what you just said, is very important. And I think it's a crystal clear picture of what we are living this last month in Ukraine. Exactly what is happening in Ukraine, the thing that you just described. I don't know if Ambassador, are you listening to us?
Very well so, yes.
Yes, proceed as quickly as possible in order not to lose the connection again.
Well, as I sent you a small message saying, regretfully, this is the situation 45 minutes from Attica. And
we get that. Proceed with the things you want to say in order not to lose the connection again.
To share with you, based on my US experience, 8 years in Toto. Yes. So, yes. I think the success of our common efforts, both from let's say the
Ambassador, I think it's impossible to resolve this the issue you have with the technical problems. I want to get back to Professor Infantis again and ask. Certainly, this is not a very good time for diplomacy. Unfortunately, diplomacy is on backstage right now on what we are living the last few weeks. But I want to get a little bit on this tech diplomacy aside from science diplomacy. We have a lot of scientists on the tech community around the world. Greece is a small country with a long history, with very good minds, both here in Greece and also around the world on the Greek community. Is it possible to harvest this richness we have on tech minds around the world in order to help Greece, help our country to advance on the technical field, on defense industry, on communications? We see, for example, what the ambassador is facing the last 45 minutes. Do you see any possibility for that?
Well, of course, uh, the nice thing about this latest, as I said, wave of revolution, which we call post-industrial revolution, or informatics and robotics and artificial intelligence, is that 80% of any new development, of any innovation, is here. So human capital is the most important, if you like, uh, production factor in in our age. It is, and this is that gives an advantage to countries like Greece and Cyprus, who are part of the international community and who are part of the most advanced part of the international community, that is what we used to call, and it is coming now, coming back forcefully, the West. Okay, it is if you think that 80% of R&D, research and development, is the product, is the result of the human brain, design, development, new ideas, and only 20% is manufacturing, then there is scope and there is room for countries who can invest. I go back to what I said in education, to be part of and to ride the wave of our time. It is, and the if you like, the mechanism, the framework, it is there as part of the European community. We are in a privileged position to participate in scientific collaboration that aim to advance technologies that are as I said, at the edge of growth. So we can do it, and it is not so much a matter of bringing Greek or Greek Cypriots scientists and researchers together in order to create a national hub that could come up with new products that can be competitive in the global markets. It is taking advantage of our current political, above all, position as members, indispensable members of the Western research communities. Yes, it would be nice to have only Greek centers of excellence, but I think it is much more important in terms of going forwards in the future, and in terms of a national strategy, that Greek research communities, both in Greece and Cyprus and abroad, integrate to the multinational communities, academic communities. This is what will bring us at the forefront of innovation and technology, and this is, at least in my mind, an excellent diplomatic asset that can contribute to a well-formulated national strategy that takes account of the way the world and the global economy is changing.
Thank you very much, Professor. It seems that we have 10 more minutes on this session. I want to get back to Jimmy and ask him to give, if it's possible, an overall assessment on the subject, a closing argument for our panel from his part on the role of science and technology today's probably another time we'll have the opportunity to listen from him. So Jimmy, please.
Well, Dimitri, I think I'd like to go back to what we were saying also as to what we could do for Greece and for Cyprus and the opportunity that exists if I can. Seeing things how they've evolved here in the States the last couple of years and how technology has now become so quickly to obviously adapt and adjust with COVID, but also how transient it has become due to COVID. Greece and Cyprus need to formulate a strategy going forward. The strategy of building from within and relying on your own might be a much more difficult one. I could tell you that there are states here in the United States that were never considered technologically advanced states, or states where people would go to looking to them as a technological resource, that over the last 10 years have become powerhouses. A state like Texas, that was also always known for its natural resources, for gas and for oil and for things like that, is now a hub for so many technological companies. So not to put down the academic path of building from within, but it's much easier to get some of these companies, whether you choose to be an incubator, whether you choose to be for technology, whether you choose to be an R&D center for biotechnology. It's one of these things where Greece has something that so many countries of the world desire to have and don't. It's a democratic nation. It's got a great quality of life. It's a safe country. It's got a very low cost of living. We see how so many jobs have left Silicon Valley because of the difficulties that people would have. And you're talking about people making $150,000, $250,000 a year to start. High income jobs to start. Yet the cost of living was so high that people were hesitant to take jobs there. Because they realized how expensive it would be to live and how the commute that they'd have to get to work. So again, I speak from a business perspective, and I'm not a tech person per se, but just seeing how things have evolved here, what Greece can do, and I really think it would be great for them to take an all of the above strategy of work internally academically, work from the government perspective. Unfortunately, Minister Dendias is not with us, but to show what they're doing outside the country, in the relations that they're establishing, the conversations they're having with other countries to welcome business in. Then at the same time, you talk about the modern science world and technology world. I guarantee you 99% of the people that are active or are actually doing big work have either been to Greece, heard of Greece, or plan on visiting Greece at some point or another. So they have an opinion. They know what the country is like. It appeals to so many. Why not have them consider working from there, bringing some of their jobs there? We are not that out of the realm of cost. Yes, there are cheaper countries possibly, but again, I don't believe that there's a better combination than what Greece has to offer. How do we get them in? I'll use a construction analogy of the way things used to happen in Athens. Somebody owned a piece of property and they'd give it to a developer to build, and they'd get a nice brand new apartment out of it. So Greece needs and Cyprus needs to figure out how to bring in these companies, offer them what they need to offer them for them to establish what they need to establish, make the barriers as low as possible and as easy for them to overcome as possible. And again, small countries like Greece and Cyprus, they don't need to create 5 million jobs for this to be successful. A couple of thousand jobs here and there in different fields of technology will get the ball rolling. And the greatest advertisement for the countries of Greece and Cyprus will be for big companies to be able to go back, and obviously they all talk to each other because they interact with each other and they have business relations with each other, to say, you know something, wow, we just placed 100 people in Greece. They're so productive because they're happy. The government made it so seamless for us to transition there. and again, that's how Texas began. That's how Nashville is going. That's how New York, that was never a technology place, thanks to people before who thought forward, like Mayor Bloomberg, who tried to entice business to come this way, made it happen and planted the seeds. Again, you have a prime minister who has worked in the States, who has worked in business, who knows what it's about, trying to implement strategies. Obviously, COVID has been difficult to do that in, but they know what it's like. They've lived outside. They've lived here. They've seen it happen. It's probably not that difficult for them to get the ball rolling. I'm sure they're trying to. And if we can get a couple of pieces in place and get a few of those companies to come in, it'll be wonderful, because it will snowball. And then maybe we can reverse some of the brain drain that's happened and bring some of that youth back in. And again, once those companies come in, then they start working with academia. So they want to provide and promote advanced classes for youngsters, because they'd like to be able to recruit from within the country. So it's the one hand washes the other, and the possibilities are great, again, because technology can go wherever they'd like to go now. And if you can work from home and work from a remote location, what better location to work from than a place like Greece, whether it's the islands, the mainland? There's so many opportunities. And again, we have the space. So it's not like we're trying to bring a huge factory to Midtown Manhattan where there is no space to put it. Greece has space to pursue this objective from so many different angles. I think that the future is bright with the proper business plan. I think 5 or 10 years from now, we could be looking at something that's contributing greatly to the economy of Greece, to technology and science of the world. You never know. And there are a lot of first and second generation Greeks. I'll bring one up. George Yankopoulos, who everybody should have heard of, Regeneron, is not only a proud Greek, but he's the son of a brother who is extremely active within the organization. So we take pride in George because we consider him one of our own, because of his father's contributions to our organization, and so many people like him. Obviously, we said Borla, and there's so many other people in technology and science out there. But again, let's bring them back. I know these people would be more than happy to play a little bit of a role in Greece's rebirth and resurgence, or the beginning of the resurgence of Greece through science and technology, and Cyprus's resurgence. And again, with that strength comes soft power, comes diplomacy, because there is power in technology and it's ever changing. So it brings respect, it brings legitimacy.
Thank you, James. We have 1.5 minutes. Thank you very much for your contribution. Professor, you have 1.5 minutes for your closing argument.
Well, thank you very much. I completely agree. I concur with Mr. KOKODAS, what he said, and the good thing is that we have ample samples. If you like, this kind of investment is happening in Greece as we speak. It is not a good. It is tough luck that following the pandemic, we have the war. Things are, we have 3 years of crisis management. This is not governing as we used to know it, but it's crisis management all the way, 24 hours a day. But nevertheless, JP Morgan has invested in Greece in the last 2 years. Amazon Web Systems have come to Greece, and Microsoft. So things are looking up. And I think if we are resilient, if we persevere, if we make certain that these investments are successful, then this will have a multiplying effect. and things will, as I said, will get better and better.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you for this, for your contributions. Unfortunately, we lost, because of technical problems, the contribution of Ambassador Mallas. So, Chrisa, back to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity and for the honor to host this panel. I hope next time we will have better luck with Ambassador Mallas and the technical issues.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I would like to thank all the speakers and of course you, Mr. Apokis, for your moderation even at these technical difficulties. Ambassador Mallas was not able due to the bad internet connection in this area. So I hope we'll have them next time. And of course, I would like to thank the speakers, Professor Ifandis, for his comment on the effect of the technological evolution and in the job market and how we should invest and, in the education and adapt, of course, and the importance of the soft power. And of course, Mr. KOKODAS for his support on the promotion of the Greek ecosystem and his steps and efforts for education of the young Greek community to keep in touch with the Greek roots. Thank you all very much. We're going to have a quick 1 minute break and we'll see you all in the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.